Welcome to This Day. It is Friday and it's September 23rd. We have one meeting to tell you about. It's going to be at 9:30. Actually, it's going to be an all-dayer. And it's going to be the, United Mutual tabulation and counting of the ballots. That's going to be going all day in the boardroom as well as virtual. And if you wanted to follow along virtually, you would have to go to our Laguna Woods Village website, go to Governance Board's agenda, and you'll be able to pick it out in that spot. All right, on our show today, we have Laguna Woods City Mayor Carol Moore, who's here to give us an update on the library, and they're making some great progress. Then we have Sports Corner with Cole, and he's going to talk to us, of course, about NFL, and he's got his picks for the weekend. And then Cindy Whitney with Discovering Laguna Woods. She's going to talk to us a little bit about what's happening here in our village, and she's got some great information on an upcoming show. All right, let's take a look at our weather. Well, we are looking at nice, sunny, warm skies. It's supposed to be pretty warm going through our weekend. So we have 88-71 today, 89-72, 88-71, 89-71, and 88-75 with some high clouds. If you are traveling, take a look at these numbers. 87 at the beaches, 81-69 San Diego, 81-64 Santa Barbara, 106 in Palm Springs, Tahoe 75-44, Big Bear 74-47, Mammoth 74-39, and Las Vegas 99-74. Obviously a very warm weekend for all of these areas. Sunrise this morning was at 6:40, and our sunset will be at 6:46. And let's take a look at our joke of the day. What did one ocean say to the other ocean? It didn't say anything, it just waved. I know you're laughing, so enjoy those jokes every day. When we come back, we will have Carol Moore with the City of Laguna Woods, so stick around.
Looking for a change of scenery? You don't have to play golf to enjoy all that 19 Restaurant and Lounge has to offer. From a delicious breakfast menu to our delectable lunch and dinner specials, at 19 Restaurant and Lounge, there is something for everyone. Relax with your friends and family and take in the beautiful view from our spacious patio, or enjoy a cocktail and appetizer in our lounge. 19 Restaurant and Lounge is a great place to socialize, enjoy a meal, or simply take in the view. Join us 7 days a week and experience Laguna Woods' exclusive dining experience.
Hi, remember us?
We're back,
Christine and Jack from the Jewelry Box.
which is now the Jewelry Box Estate Buyers.
Relocated in a new spot in our old shopping center.
But we're still Orange County's preeminent buyer of gold, jewelry, watches, and flatware.
And we're still a full jewelry repair center. And with our 3 graduate gemologists, we're still here to appraise your special pieces.
And like always, at the Jewelry Box Estate Buyers,
It's about trust.
Diane's Hallmark in Laguna Niguel is now an Elam's Hallmark, and we are excited to be part of your community. We have just remodeled, and you will be surprised by the wide variety of fashion and accessories, home decor, collectibles, Disney, Peanuts, Harry Potter, and Star Wars, along with the largest Hallmark card selection in town. Stop in today and sign up for our Crown Rewards program and get a free Just Because card. Once a member, you can get a free card once a month. Elam's Hallmark, your neighborhood gift store.
Who is RadNet? You've probably heard our name and seen our commercials, but you still might not know who we are. RadNet is the largest provider of outpatient imaging services in the United States, with over 8,000 employees and almost 400 imaging centers in 7 states. Likely, if you have had diagnostic imaging, you have experienced RadNet's high-quality, cost-effective imaging services. With 35 years of expertise, RadNet is leading into the future with advanced technology and the very latest AI technology. We are positioned for the future of healthcare. RadNet, leading radiology forward.
Welcome back. Well, we have Mayor Carol Moore here, who's going to give us a library update. Well, welcome. It's been a while.
It has been a while, and you've had a lot of things going on. What's new with you?
Oh, gosh. Well, you know, I just report the news and the information every day, and it's all been going great.
Well, you're doing a great job.
Well,
that's
thank
for sure.
you, thank you. It's been good. I've been doing some traveling too, so got to fit everything in to make life good.
Good. I'm glad. I'm happy to hear that.
And I know you're super busy for the city of Laguna Woods, and there's been a lot of changes, and there's also a lot of waiting going on, which I know you're very anxious to get the library finished.
Definitely.
But you're certainly making some progress. So in light of, in looking at what the library is going to offer, tell us a little bit about it and why it's different.
Okay, this library, I think one of the questions that comes up in the community is we have a village library, and what does this library do? This library is different, and there is a need for both. This library, because we are part of the Orange County Public Library System,
right,
that then we have access to a lot of materials. There are more than 1.6 million physical items available through our public Orange County Public Library System, and so all of that material that book clubs use and so forth is available. So that's one big thing. Our library also has access to ebooks and also to databases,
right,
and virtual programs and events, as well as classes in computing. So there's another feature that makes it a little bit different from from our other library.
Right.
This library also has access to broadband and free Wi-Fi support.
Yes.
So people who come in, they have access to that. And probably another big one is that our seniors can get personalized help with e-readers, with their smartphones, with their tablets, and they can make appointments and get one-on-one even. So these are other benefits that come up with it. One other one too is that the Orange County Public Library has a memory lab to preserve documents. So people have documents that they want to, it could be photos, audio, visuals,
right,
and they can be digitized. So there's one lab permanent in Tustin, and then we have a mobile lab. Okay. So people who want to make an appointment and do that, that is also available. Those are just some of the services. The other thing is we have book clubs. And the Orange County Public Library does encourage that because we have multiple copies. And so there are multiple copies for book clubs. They encourage it, and book clubs are using it right now. And then there is a wide variety of language. So individuals who prefer to have their book in everything, even Tagalog. So we have really some widespread availability of significant world languages. So there you go.
So now all of these things you currently have being offered in the space in which you have your library right now, right? So now you're building a whole new facility.
Right.
So the facility is just off the side of the city's building, and it's in the same patio as you can see here. Now, what I'd like to know is it really just offering the same things but an expanded version of all those things?
And we can offer more because we didn't have the space. Even though this library is not the large size that you would see in Aliso Viejo or whatever. I mean, some of the libraries that are rather, and Mission Viejo has their own library. They're not part of the Orange County system. But the library, if you look at is that photo showing right now? I think it is. Okay. If you look to the right, you see that gray box. Right in there is the library itself, and then the part with the tile roofing. And to the left, where you see the two overhead posts, that's going to be open. And that will be, things kind of evolved during the process of the design of the library and the conditions that we're living in now. People often like to be outside. And if you look at the bottom photo, you can see it too. That room that you see, the windows are open. That room will have some doors that will slide back, and you can do things, but it will be available for more of an outdoor kind of an activity, more fresh air in there. And then this is the interior then you can see of the library itself.
Okay.
And then I think we were looking also in that large photo when we looked and we saw the aerial shot. You're seeing, okay, can you see right there, the steps come up and you see all that area there?
Yeah.
That area will be available for activities. And it could be, luncheons, dinners, whatever, outdoor use, because that is more important today to be. I personally like to be outdoors, but I always have. I'm an outdoor person, but even more so enhanced because we like not to be in crowded situations quite as much. We're more comfortable when we are. Not that you can't be, but you know, there's that option too.
But you're moving everything from inside where it is now into this new building, correct?
And Lisa, it is so crowded because our librarians, bless their hearts, are so patient and so helpful. And the librarians, by nature, are people who want to help people. So they're very helpful people by nature anyway. And they're working in a very crowded space because the books aren't located right there. Now, a lot of the books for our library will not be located there. They'll be coming in. That's being part of the system. We don't need the huge building as much because we have access to all those books, and they're being shuffled around anyway. That's what makes the Orange County Public Library so efficient.
I see. Yeah, because when you do go to some of these other libraries, they are rather large. But you did mention Mission Viejo, and you said that they're not part of the
Well, that's their own city library.
That's their own city library, so they're not part of the Orange County Public Library.
No,
Oh, I see.
A couple of cities chose to have their own. They're not part of the system, and they chose to have their own public libraries. In this case, when I'm going back, I told you there were 1.6 million physical items. Think about that, and that's available. So you don't have to buy books, repeat books for all these libraries because they're moved around. And when they see the popularity of a specific book, perhaps, then it goes to that library where the need is, and then it's moved. Someone said, well, it would be inefficient, you know, the cost of moving the books. Actually, it's not. It's far less expensive because we don't have to store them because remember, they're spread out over that whole area. So it's a very financially efficient program, too.
Right. Well, that's good to know because, like you said, you know, you have things that are popular that everybody's looking for, but you have them right there, so that's great. So what do you think is the timeline? I mean, any guesstimations of when it might be done?
Oh, wow. What you saw there, when we finish the exterior, with the way this works, the city is responsible for the building itself and you know, constructing it. But when it comes to the interior, then that is turned over to the Orange County Public Library, and they will do the interior. They will do the wiring for the you know, Wi-Fi and so forth, the programs that they'll offer. So they have some time there themselves. They'll bring their own bookshelves and do that kind of thing on the interior. So we're heading within possibly by the first week of October, we should be pouring that flooring you saw where the steps come up. I think that could be in within a couple weeks. And then it gets down to the windows. And the windows in our City Hall also had to be changed because they weren't efficient windows. So so that kind of puts, and they're very large curved windows. You saw that. So that puts a little damper on moving very fast. And then putting the windows in the library itself, although I showed you that one building that's, you know, it's going to be open, and part of the building. And then the interior, I would say, I would be surprised if it were finished by the beginning of December, only because it depends.
Well, weather permitting, of course, too. You just
there's that, and then has the Orange County Public Library have materials on hold that they're, when I'm talking about materials, I'm not talking about books, I'm talking about the desk and all of that kind of material. If they have that and they can put it in, then it'll go faster. So I don't know if that'll be back ordered for them because that's their portion of it. So there you go.
Good job. It's looking good. I'm glad you're making progress.
We are.
And it's going to be awesome when it's done.
I did have one little thing I wanted to add at our city. We offer if people want to make an appointment on shredding, and they're interested in shredding, they can bring their material and make an appointment, and they can do it right there, and then it's taken off site. And
is there a charge for that?
There's no charge.
Really?
Yeah, that's a nice service.
Oh, that is a nice service. That's fantastic. Yes, I think that would be great. So they can also find that information on your website, I assume?
I think it is on the website, but I'm not positive. But anyway, it's a good point. That should be on the website.
Well, thank you for the update. We appreciate the information.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Carol.
I enjoyed it.
If you want more information about the library or anything that happens at the city, you can always go to thecityoflagunawoods.org. We'll be right back.
been a little while, but welcome back to another episode of Sports Corner. Pro and college football seasons are in full swing, so let's jump right into it. Week 3 of the NFL kicked off last night where we got a divisional matchup between the Pittsburgh Steelers and Cleveland Browns. The Browns were able to hold off the Steelers at home and bring their record to 2-1. We have already seen some incredible games and some teams that are very clearly leading the pack. Heading into this weekend, there are only 6 undefeated teams remaining. The Miami Dolphins, Kansas City Chiefs, Philadelphia Eagles, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the very surprising New York Giants, and then the surprise to no one, the Buffalo Bills. I mentioned at the start of this season that the Buffalo Bills will most likely be in the Super Bowl this year, and at least so far, that prediction looks promising. The Bills have gotten off to an insane start, outscoring the Rams and Titans by a combined 72 to just 17. Their offense is scoring 36 points per game, and their defense is only allowing 216 yards and 8.5 points per game. Josh Allen has looked virtually unstoppable, and number 1 receiver Stephon Diggs currently has 270 yards and 4 touchdowns through just 2 games. They will be tested this week against division rival and the also undefeated Dolphins, who looked incredible in one of the most improbable comebacks ever last week. Another major headline that came out of last week was 49ers quarterback Trey Lance being ruled out for the season after suffering an ankle injury. Backup quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo will return to the spotlight and carry this team for the rest of the year. Some other observations from the first 2 weeks. The Eagles are legitimate Super Bowl contenders. The Chiefs are dominant yet again. Tom Brady and the Bucs are struggling early despite starting the season undefeated. And Russell Wilson has not proven much on the Broncos just yet. And the Detroit Lions are playing better than expected. With that said, I will give my picks for this week. It's been a while, but I went 2-2 with my picks in week 1, so I need to step it up just a little bit this week. My winners for this week are the Eagles over the Commanders, Chargers over Jacksonville, Rams over the Cardinals, and the Chiefs to beat the Colts. I could not be more happy that the NFL is back, but I can't mention football season without at least touching on college football. This season has already given us some electric last-second games, and more are definitely on the horizon. A large and pleasant surprise so far this season has been how well one of our local teams, USC, has played throughout their first few games. The Trojans are off to a 3-0 start, outscoring their opponents 152 to just 59 through the first 3 games. New addition quarterback Caleb Williams has thrown for 8 touchdowns with no interceptions, and USC currently sits as the number 7 team in the nation. On top of those rankings sits, yet again, the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia has scored 130 points through their first 3 games, but have only allowed 10 total points to be scored against them. Georgia's coming off of a national championship victory, and they very well could repeat if they continue their current patterns. While it is very easy to get fully engulfed in football, we are rapidly approaching the best time of year for baseball. Teams have already begun clinching playoff spots, and the first team to do so was the LA Dodgers. Essentially, all year, the Dodgers have looked like the World Series favorites, and it's likely they can return to the big stage in October. For our other local teams, the San Diego Padres are very much still alive and are looking to earn a wild card spot, but it will be a battle for them for the rest of the season. And then, there's the Angels. After a hot start followed by a record-breaking losing streak, the Angels are back on a hot streak. They began winning again, and Mike Trout even went 7 straight games with a home run. However, it is too little too late as the Halos are officially eliminated from playoff contention. With the roster looking good at the moment and new ownership on the horizon, we could see a new era of Angels baseball, just not until next season, hopefully. There's more than enough football to enjoy this weekend, so be sure to tune in Friday through Monday for all the action. Like I said, baseball is becoming very exciting as teams are trying to earn playoff spots, and we get hockey back very soon. I'm Cole Young. Enjoy your weekend, and I will see you right back here next Friday on Sports Corner.
Welcome back, where we have the host of Discovering Laguna Woods Village with us, Cindy Whitney. Well, welcome. Nice to see you.
Thank you, Lisa. It's very nice to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you, and always, of course, Discovering Laguna Woods Village is always great to know more about what's happening in our community, meeting interesting people. I mean, you pretty much cover the gamut.
Exactly. The mission statement that I have for the show is that we are there to create awareness and an immersive experience in events, clubs, activities, and anything that's going on in the village.
Right. And funny thing was that we both covered a similar subject matter this last month because you did a garden episode
Yes.
and I did a full thing with Christy Sakel, who is here on behalf of the village, right?
Yes.
So we covered Garden Center 1 and Garden Center 2, and then she's like, yeah, well, Cindy Whitney was just here, so sometimes we cover the same thing.
Well, exactly, because it was. I didn't even realize that there is a fall gardening process and a winter garden, and so to think that it all is harvested, at the end of summer, and then your garden is dormant, was a misnomer. So here we are.
So I like that. So it's nice when I think it's fun when we both, because mine is much shorter than yours, because yours is a half-hour program.
It is.
Right. So you have a lot more time to really dive into certain things.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about how you're supporting the village, right? Like, I mean, you obviously support because you're bringing information to everybody, but what else?
Well, the way I bring information, I think, is the way our show is a little bit different. And we are coming into our 7th year now, so we're celebrating that, and I'm really excited about that. But it began by, when I moved here 8 years ago, I realized that the community does a great job of letting us know what's available, what time it happens, where it happens, and so forth. But I'm kind of a visual person, and I needed to know more about what it looks like. What's it going to be like? What's the experience that I'm going to have? So I thought, and now I came here to be in Clubhouse 4 and do things in Clubhouse 4. That was my main goal, to come to Laguna Woods. So what I would notice was people would open the door because they were curious, and they'd look in to the jewelry studio, and they see people with torches, big flames sticking out of them, and grinders and saws and things, and they would shut the door and we'd never see them again. So I said, this is crazy, because if you just take 2 classes with the Emeritus program, in that site, you will learn the safety protocols, you will learn how to operate all of the pieces of equipment and tools in there, and you can make astoundingly beautiful things. So I said, we're going into Clubhouse 4. We did 2 episodes with all of the studios. We did lapidary and wood shop and ceramics and jewelry and the less lethal sewing, photography.
Less lethal. Hey, I don't know. I've stuck myself with those needles before.
That's true. But harmless. And so we sort of demystified everything. And then I said, let's go out and see what other things we can show people what that experience would be like. So we covered, ballroom dancing and, shuffleboard and how to paint somebody's portrait, how to ride a horse. Maybe you'd like to learn to swim for the first time in your life. All of these things that are available to us, it's just endless.
It makes it fun, doesn't it?
It makes it very fun. Learning a new language. People are learning new languages here. Things that you kind of put off all your life, and now you get a chance to do it, and you can do it here. You don't even have to go outside the gates.
Well, and you're always having fun doing it, and that is key, right? Because you're having a good time, which will then mean that the audience is having a good time as well.
Yes.
So you really do a great job of that.
Thank you. I find people in those situations that are doing it, and they say, "This is how I started. This was my fear or trepidation coming here, and I overcame that, and now I'm having a great time." So it's first-person testimonial.
Do you have a favorite episode?
I have a lot of them. I go in with wide-eyed wonder because I haven't done any of these things either. So to me it's all new, and so I love hearing about it. But I did love the centenarians. We had a chance to interview a number of our centenarians, bless them, and I did about 5 of those interviews. And these people are just so wonderful. They're fun and happy and, for the most part, healthy, and they're having a great time. And, of course, I had to ask the silly question, what's your secret? And we all had a good laugh over that, and they all said the same thing. I have no secret. I just kept on living.
Well, and moving. And, you can do all the things that the doctors recommend.
Sure.
And, it hopefully will get you to the other side.
But they're having a great time. Woodstock. I love Woodstock, too.
Yeah. We showed one, too. And you are all dressed up and having a good time.
I love Woodstock.
That's the best.
another favorite episode was pulling out of the Dana Point Harbor in the Yacht Club's yacht.
Club is great, yep.
And then I got to run over by a dog in the dog park. That was a lot of fun. And then, just basically meeting extraordinary people. And two that come to mind really off the top of my head are Selma Buckstein, the last doll lady, and a member of Clown Alley, and the indomitable, wonderful, happy, cheerful Holocaust survivor, Ed Hoffman.
Right.
Just amazing people.
Yeah. Well, you've covered a lot. I think it's great. And, one thing I wanted to mention, though, is, of course, during COVID, all of us had a tough time doing our jobs. But thank goodness to Zoom, we were able to continue our programming, but just do it in a different way.
Right. I mean, I do a show about going places and doing things. So how do we reverse that and have people still do things, but do them in their own home or in some other way? So we did have our shows on Zoom for that whole year. Margot Flynn came on and showed you how to make found object art in your home. Nancy Clan-Morin talked about writing. Did you want to write your memoirs or poetry or a great American novel, which she has written? All of these things. We also promoted different things. Care kits. Richard and Sue Snyder are big on every time there's a food drive, they're there. Food drives, care kits, blood drives. And also, we brought in Eileen Lenson, who is a psychotherapist, and she has written a marvelous book called Overcoming Adversity. So she talked to us about perseverance and courage and hope. And so we did all we could to help people sitting in your home think differently about the experience that you're living through. We're all living through it, but maybe you can think differently about it.
I think you're right, and I think that everybody who has a show on Channel 6, that we were able to really do a lot of that. And the other thing that Zoom afforded us, obviously, was to be able to go anywhere around the world and talk to somebody, rather than obviously having them come here. So it worked out really well.
Yes.
And then one last quick thing is, when can we see you? It looks as though we can see you on Wednesdays.
Oh, yes. I'm so used to saying this. Wednesday and Sunday mornings at 9:30 a.m. on Village Television, and anytime you want on YouTube.
That's right. They can go to our YouTube channel, which is Village Television, and see you there.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
it was
it's my
very nice
pleasure.
to see you. Appreciate it.
Nice to have me come over.
All right.
Thank you.
And as Cindy mentioned, you can always see her program on our YouTube channel, which is Village Television, and you would just type in Discovering Laguna Woods Village. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Balbina's Mexican Restaurant. Stop by and experience the most authentic Mexican food in the region. We are serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We have a very extensive Mexican wine list from Valle de Guadalupe and the center of Mexico. Visit us for breakfast and lunch from 8 in the morning to 2 p.m. and for dinner from 5 to 9 p.m. Stop by on Wednesdays and enjoy with half off on all of our wines.
All right, our Friday movie is Phoenix. You can see that today at 2 and 6 p.m. too, with subtitles. Have a great day in the Village. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.
At Loberg Dental, we understand that life gets busy, and making time to go to the dentist can be a challenge. But it's often difficult to find a dentist who's open during the evening hours or on the weekends. That's why we offer both. Whether it's a cavity that needs attention or you have broken or missing teeth, we are ready to help you get the care you need when it's convenient for you. Visit drloberg.com today to make an appointment and get your first exam and set of x-rays free without insurance.